Wow, I can't believe it. The Raiders may have just drafted the next Richard Sherman.
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
In the 4th round of the NFL draft, they have selected Decamerion Richardson, the cornerback out of Mississippi State. The last time the Raiders drafted someone from Mississippi State was Mr. Jonathan Abram, aka Salmon.
Salmon or Salmon?
Salmon.
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 This guy is a physical freak. Richardson is 6'2", but was able to run a 4.3 40-yard. A lot of scouts were low on this guy. They thought he was going to be a day 3 selection. Besides people like Chris Sims of NBC, this guy thought that Richardson could go in the 2nd round.
You couple that with the straight speed, the size and the length, and the ability to jam at the line of scrimmage and make people very uncomfortable there, right? That's to me where he's got a little bit of like a Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner-ish type of aspect to him, right? He's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I think he's one that, again, I know. It just, as we go here, I'll be shocked if we don't hear this one kind of climb up the ranks. I'm not saying maybe I have him too high, but I think at least you're going to start to hear people go, wait, this guy's, one of my top 50 players now, or I'm hearing he could go in the 2nd round or whatever.
So Chris Sims, imagine that this guy could go in the 2nd round. The Raiders were able to select him in the 4th round. He does have that length. He is only 188 pounds, but despite the fact that he's on the thinner side, he's able to be physical while pressing these wide receivers. The big question is, if he has all this physical ability, if people like Chris Sims thought this guy should go in the 2nd round, why did he fall? Why did he fall to the 4th round? Well, he doesn't really pop in the stat sheet, and I think that really hurt this guy in the 2024 draft. The dude has 0 interceptions over the past 3 years. Yes, we know sometimes corners are gifted interceptions. They don't always earn it. The quarterback could throw a shitty pass and then one corner has a ton of picks. But coincidentally, for whatever reason, the man has had no interceptions. And in terms of the passer rating that he gave up over the past few years, it's not like he was exactly dominant. Quarterbacks had a decent passer rating against Richardson. But I believe this is a great pick for the Raiders. This is exactly what you want in day 3 in the 4th round of the NFL draft. Get a guy who hasn't proven it on the stat sheet, who still has some work to do, still has some things that he needs to refine, but has all the physical traits there, the God-given physical traits that you really can't change very often. You have this here by NFL Next Gen Stats pointing out that Richardson is the cornerback with the highest athleticism score in the position group for the 2024 draft class. Richardson received the 88 score. You got Jerrion Jones, Max Melton right behind him, and Quinion Mitchell, who went in the 1st round behind him in the athletic score. The general manager, Tom Telesco, did allude to the fact that in day 3 of the NFL draft, he's not exactly looking for a need, not exactly trying to find an immediate starter, but somebody you could refine and develop into being a starter years down the road. And I think Richardson, the Raiders were able to pick up Antonio Pierce's old friend, Jack Jones, after he was released from the Patriots last season. He's kind of a skinnier cornerback too. It seems like Antonio Pierce definitely has a type when it comes to the cornerback position. But looking at the rest of the depth chart here in terms of cornerback, who will people like Richardson be competing against? Well, you got Brandon Faison, who was on IR the majority of all of last year, didn't really get to play. That veteran is going to compete for a roster spot. Obviously, Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs are the projected starters. Because Richardson is primarily an outside corner, I think he does have a chance to compete for a starting job. Nate Hobbs will likely go back into the slot. That's where that guy thrives. You also have the 4th round pick, Jacorian Bennett, still on the roster, even though he was drafted by Josh McDaniels last year. That guy has a ton of speed. He can compete at the outside cornerback position. So if everything pans out with Richardson this year, he could be starting opposite of Jack Jones with Nate Hobbs in the slot easily. Antonio Pierce picked up the phone and called the young cornerback.
My man.
Hey, how you doing?
You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, man. I think we need to see all that speed. Right now, you know what we got to work on, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hey, celebrate your family. We'll see you here shortly, all right?
All right.
All right, man.
Not too much energy from Richardson. Oh, yeah. What up? Yeah, cool. Maybe there's nothing wrong with being quiet. I kind of need to shut up sometimes. But Antonio Pierce did say, you know what we got to work on, and I think he's talking about the muscle and the weight. 188 pounds is not that bad. There were some other skinnier cornerbacks in this draft class, but I do think that Richardson's going to be linking up with Deuce Gruden, who's still working as the strength and conditioning coach, and he's definitely going to beef up a little bit. Reviewing some of Richardson's traits via PFF, they have said that despite the fact that he is a lower weight, he is not afraid to come up and run support. So you got a guy who is not willing to lower the shoulder and make a big hit on a running back or wide receiver. And he's a strong tackler overall. That's great. Usually is a concern for lighter guys in the NFL draft. But they are saying that this guy lacks some confidence. He gets turned around too much. We talked about the fact that he did not record an interception in his college career. Yikes. But I think Antonio Pierce is the perfect coach to boost this guy's confidence. And I can totally see him finally getting an interception after 3 freaking years in Allegiant Stadium in 2024. I can feel it. There's going to be some tough competition in the AFC West. You have the Broncos, new wide receiver Troy Franklin, Brandon Perna posting this here. This is a guy that Richardson's going to have to go up against.
Yeah. Super over, man. Let's get though, but I just wanted to say, go Broncos country, and it's over for every motherfucker that try to play me.
Yeah, I'd much rather have the cool and collect Richardson than this loud mouth. But this is who Richardson's going to be expected to cover. We'll see if he can shut this loud talker up during preseason. Troy Franklin is also a former Oregon Duck. He's hoping the chemistry with Bo Nix will help him in the AFC West this year. We'll see about that. We also have another loudmouth wide receiver. This one, Javon Baker, selected by the New England Patriots.
Too fucking long. You gotta pay.
Yeah.
Over with. What that motherfucking look at, man?
Look at
You just gotta pay. Just gotta pay. Took too long. It took too motherfucking long.
Took too mother effing long. Why are all these day 3 receivers coming into the draft such divas? Cornerbacks like Richardson are going to easily be able to feast on these emotional guys with way too big of egos. The Raiders have still not selected a quarterback after the historic first round where 6 quarterbacks were selected. In over 100 picks, not one QB has been selected in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round so far. The Raiders are continuing to build in the draft with head coach Antonio Pierce and general manager Tom Telesco. Things change so quickly. Paul Gutierrez of ESPN reminding us that just 12 years ago, Reggie McKenzie was the general manager of the Raiders with head coach Dennis Allen, who is now the head coach of the New Orleans Saints with quarterback Derek Carr over there. Kind of crazy to see how things just switch up in the NFL so quickly. Let's hope that this current head coach and GM combo can get it right for Las Vegas. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this draft selection. Did the Raiders make the right call here? I like this pick. This is probably one of my favorite picks so far in the NFL draft. Make sure you subscribe for more content from me. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.